Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. My name is Barbara and today we're going to be looking at Venus in the sign of Cancer. So this video is for you if you do have this placement. If you're a cross watcher, welcome as well. Very excited to get into this particular placement. I am going through the water signs today. So Venus in Cancer, let's look at Cancer as an energy. So Cancer overall is all about being nurturing. They want to be nurtured. They're the feelers, they're the empaths, they're the healers of the zodiac. I mean, all the water signs are in one way, shape, or form. But this individual is going to be very much an intuitive lover. That's the whole thing here. You guys are going to understand your partners on an emotional, deep level. And that's the whole thing here. You guys need that emotional, deep level to connect with an individual. Now, obviously depends on the rest of your natal chart, but most of the time, Venus in Cancer does need that depth. You guys need some form of emotional connection with your partner. Individuals who are going to be fast and flighty and in and out of your life, you guys don't like this. The thing is, the Cancer and Capricorn energy, they are oppositions and they seek security and stability in different ways. For you guys, it's going to be stability and security through a home, through a family, through that dependability energy where it's like, you know, this person's always going to be there. And the thing is, when I was prepping for this video and I was thinking about Venus in Cancer, I was thinking about how they are the person who is always there for the people that they love. Now, most of the time, Venus does deal with your romantic relationships, but you guys can be like this in friendships as well. People who you guys care about and who you guys love, you guys are always going to be there for that person. If you guys are just friends with someone and someone calls you guys up and they're having a hard day and they're having, you know, an upset moment, you guys are going to be there for that person and they know that they can contact you. And same thing with your relationships. Now, this can go down south very quickly for this particular placement. Most of these placements and why I love astrology is like when you guys are in the earlier version of that sign or you guys are just younger and you guys are just a little bit more unaware, you guys can be on that lower version of that particular sign. So the lower version of Cancer is you guys might feel sorry for people and then you guys might date them. You guys might fall in love with someone's potential, the way that you guys could be, the way you guys could look together. Because the thing is, as soon as you guys like someone, you guys are already, 50 years into the future when you guys are married and you guys have kids and maybe at that point you guys have grandkids. That's the thing with this energy. Like you guys could even be the type younger, like picturing your weddings and how that's going to be and like all these types of things. Like even as soon as you guys like this individual, you guys can picture like what it would be like to live with this person and how they would be as a partner and like they come home from work and maybe you guys cook something for them. Like it's about caring for the other individual. It's all about nurturing the other person. It's a very feminine energy leaning sign. Does not matter what gender you're born into. You're just going to naturally fall into that caretaking energy where you want to take care of the people that you guys love. So this is going to manifest differently, obviously, for different people. Like I mentioned, it could be cooking for your partner. It can be just remembering little things that they said and you guys buy them like a gift or like a sentimental present. Like that's the thing, because the Cancer energy sometimes can have photographic memory. So you guys are going to remember everything, maybe even to the point of like what your first date was like, maybe what you guys wore, where you guys went, like maybe there was a painting in the background. Even to your partner, you guys might be like, oh, do you remember that? And they don't, but you guys do, because it's that photographic memory, really, when you have that Cancerian placement. But overall, it's going to be really good memory and you guys are always going to listen to your partner. Like that's the thing. It's very much that nurturing energy. And the thing is, if you guys don't get this in return, it's going to be very challenging for you guys, because it's like, especially if you guys are invested, you're invested in a relationship, it might take a long time for you guys to leave that relationship. It might become unbalanced when you guys are in those lower versions of Cancer, because it's like sometimes what we're doing is we're showing people how we really want to be treated. So the Venus in Cancer could really want to be treated this way. They could really want to be nurtured. They could want their partner to remember these things about them, like all the things that the Venus in Cancer person does. They can want their partner to do that in return. And it's like, sometimes what might happen is you guys might fall into this codependency energy. Well, actually, before I get into that, first one shadow that I do want to mention for the Venus in Cancer placement is you guys might fall into that energy of manipulation, trying to manipulate your partner or like doing little manipulative things to get attention. You guys could fall into the shadows of being maybe even passive aggressive. Again, you want the attention from your partner, but you might not actually be verbalizing maybe what the problem is, what the issues are. So that's the thing. Sometimes a lot of these water placements, it's like they're super intuitive and they can pick up on everything with their partner and their loved ones, and they know like if they're in a bad mood, if they're in a good mood, if they had a bad day. And it's like maybe you guys expect that in return because you're this way, and it's like if you don't get it, you guys might do little tactics here and there, manipulative things to jab at that person, to say things to like show that you're upset without actually saying it, because it's like you really want them to be able to read you and understand you on that intuitive level that you understand them. That's why a lot of the time in these dynamics, you guys might attract narcissistic individuals, unfortunately, and you guys might fall into codependency patterns. Unfortunately, the Cancer placements, well, actually I find a lot of the water placements, but specifically Cancer placements, tend to struggle with codependency a lot, because it's like you guys are all about that heart chakra. It's really what that is. You guys are that fourth house. It's the nurturing, it's the moon, it's the emotions. So you guys want that depth. You guys want those deep emotional relationships. And sometimes, first of all, you guys might settle for people and you guys might see, a little moment where they do show you this and then, they never show it again. You guys are waiting to relive that and then you get sucked into a narcissistic codependent dynamic, because it's like these placements also do struggle with abandonment a lot of the time, especially Cancer. Cancer is the most abandoned sign in the zodiac. There's always something going on with Cancerian placements with the mother when they are growing up. That's why they themselves become super nurturing, because they didn't receive the nurturing energy in return, or whoever took on the mother role in their life, and maybe this individual was manipulative. So that's the thing, like with this particular placement, it's going to take you guys a while to understand this energy and to see that sometimes you guys are over giving to people and you're not getting the same energy in return. Like you want things to be balanced in a relationship ultimately at the end of the day. And it's like I said, you guys might struggle to actually leave dynamics. And a lot of the time you might end up being in relationships way past the expiry date. Because again, it's like you guys invested a lot, and like the emotional energy is a lot of energy if you really think about it, because you invest so many emotions into it and you invest so much time and all these sorts of things. It's like it takes you a long time to get over these people. It takes you a long time to leave these dynamics. I mean, these could be just regular relationships that just died out. It doesn't necessarily just have to be a toxic dynamic. Obviously, if you guys are in a toxic dynamic, leave those things ASAP. The thing is, you guys just have a different perspective on relationships. All of the water Venuses do, compared to maybe like fire signs and maybe the air Venuses as well, because it's like they might take relationships for face value, for fun, just, you know, a companion, someone to do things with, and like, you know, they just part ways. They would be the types who are able to date for 1 month, 3 months, and like, you know, they go to a new country and they go on a date for one time, like these types of things. Like, but for you guys take this area very seriously. Like I said, it's the home. So it's like, as soon as you guys have someone that you guys like, you guys want to build a home with that person. It's like that instant energy. So when you guys are in those lower versions and unhealed versions of Cancer, you guys might repress this aspect of yourself. You guys might be in denial that this is something you crave and that you really want to build a home with someone. And then you guys might go through escapism in terms of your emotions. The thing is, because Venus does deal with indulgence as well and the pleasures in life, you guys can very quickly go into the energy of even alcoholism or substance abuse of some form. So it's like you guys are numbing out the emotions. Most of the time, out of all of the addictions, I do find Cancer placements do fall into alcoholism in terms of addiction, where it's like they are using alcohol to numb out their emotions. They are feeling a lot of things. And it's like, again, you might go through this extreme where it's like, you might not be aware that this is something you seek, or you guys might have fallen into codependencies. I think this is a huge thing with all of these water Venuses that they have to eventually come to terms with, is that they are looking for depth. They need emotions in relationships. They need someone to see them and understand them on that level, and, you know, not to fall in love with people where it's like, you know, like I mentioned, you see potential in them, where you just feel bad for them, or you just kind of like start talking to them because it's like you feel like they need healing, or you feel like, again, this could even be a subconscious thing. Like you guys could be that savior energy where it's like, oh, like I feel bad for this person, or it's like, oh, I understand their wounds. Oh, it's like, you know, there's so much going on. Like the thing is, their lines could be very blurred with like you are experiencing a traumatic person and you really want to help them and heal them. Like that could happen where it's like you guys really want to nurture them and you guys want to bring them into the light. That's the thing, because it's like we have to look at Cancer as like the moon, right? So the moon takes things that are dark and hidden and eventually illuminates. It brings them into the light. It's the only light in the sky. I mean, other than the stars, but it's really like the main light in the sky when it's the nighttime. So that's really the Cancerian energy. You guys can really, really want to illuminate things. You want to pull people out of the darkness. You want to help everyone. The thing is, unfortunately, this energy can get you guys into trouble, because it's like this person might not be compatible for you. That's the thing when you have Venus in Cancer. This person might not be compatible for you. You are more in like a nurturing, wanting to heal that person instead of actually looking at compatibility. Like, is this person on the same page as me? Does this person want to build an actual home? Does this person want to have a family if that's what you guys are looking for? Is this person going to give me security? Like all of the things that Venus in Cancer is looking for, you guys need to see in relationships, especially when you guys are dating, if that person is able to offer you guys those things, because you guys need that security, and you guys need security through the home and on an emotional level. And this is why a lot of the time, like I was saying, when you guys are in the lower versions, more unhealed or just more unaware, you guys might fall into these little traps where it's like, again, you see a light in a person, they don't see it in themselves, but it's like when a person is unhealed, unfortunately, it's like they can start draining your light. They can start draining you, and it becomes very unbalanced very quickly. And then it's like it digs you guys into that deep hole that I was saying, where it's like more time passes, you're more emotionally invested, because it's like over an extended period of time, like anyone can fall in love with anyone is really what it is. Sometimes it's proximity, sometimes it's spending a lot of time with the person, like these types of things. So really, really self-awareness is important for you guys, and for you guys to be aware that you need someone who's going to be able to hold space for you guys emotionally, someone who's going to be emotionally intelligent, someone who is going to be a certain level of healed. Obviously in life, no one's ever going to be at like 100% healed, but someone who's just going to give you guys that secure attachment you guys are looking for. And the thing is, first you guys have to come to terms with that within yourselves. Because the thing is, even if you guys might be seeking for freedom in terms of the rest of your placements in your natal chart, or detachment, or all these sorts of things, the Venus in Cancer is still looking for that stability. So it's like, even if you find someone who's able to do these things with you guys, let's say you guys go traveling and you guys have homes in different places abroad, it can be something a little bit more unconventional, but you still need that connection with this individual. It's the shell. That's really what that is. You You want someone to be in your little shell. You guys can create a home wherever you guys go. It doesn't necessarily just have to be in one place. So that's really the whole thing. It's like you really want this person to resonate with you on that emotional level is the main thing. You can't really date someone who's going to emotionally neglect you, or someone who's just emotionally absent, or even emotional unavailable people, as charming as that might be, as interesting as that might be. It's like it's just going to make you guys go through turbulent energy. That's the thing. Because it's like, if you think about it, the moon also controls the waves, right? And that's like the depth of the water. These types of dynamics can really, really quickly make you guys go through emotional highs and lows, and then you guys might feel unstable internally, energetically. And because of the fact that you guys do have that psychic gift, and you guys can be very clairsentient, you guys might even get enmeshed with your partner, where it's like you guys aren't able to differentiate between their energy and your own. That could be a huge thing that happens as well if you do have Venus in Cancer. So the thing is, as I've mentioned already, really, really important for you guys to just figure out who you guys are, what your own energy is, before you guys do get into these dynamics. Because otherwise, it's like you guys can go into that codependency energy. You become enmeshed with your partner. That's what also can make it very difficult for you to leave relationships. One more thing that I also want to mention is, like, because Cancer does deal with the energy of nostalgia, sometimes you guys can reflect back on exes and you can be like, oh, I miss that person, oh, we should be together. But keep in mind, anytime something comes to an end, it's done for a reason, right? So it's like there's no need to go back and to revisit that. Whatever issues you guys had in the dynamics would probably resurface again, or whatever the reason was that you guys ended the dynamic with that person would resurface again eventually. So it's like you guys can fall into that trap as well, because it's like you're very feeling based. And a lot of the time when we tap into emotions, especially when we look back on memories, it's easy to tap into the good emotions, the times that you guys had fun, the times everything was high vibrational. And a lot of the times we tend to forget like the downfalls maybe in that dynamic and all these sorts of things. Overall, this placement is going to be very caring, very nurturing. You guys are going to have that divine feminine energy. You guys are really going to want to nurture. You're going to want to caretake. You're going to want to be there for your partners. It's going to be really, really important for you. But as long as everything is equal and reciprocated is the only thing really that I can say about this placement. And to become very in tune with your emotions and not fall into maybe what another individual wants and like molding yourselves in that way, because that could also happen with this placement, because you guys are intuitive. So you guys can really like someone, and again, you're tapping into that potential, their higher selves even sometimes. And because you're tapping into this, it's like it's not what's being given at face value, and they might not live up to that. So just some things to watch out for if you do have this placement. So I'm going to wrap up this video here. I do hope you guys did enjoy my video on Venus in Cancer. If you did, please do like, share, and subscribe. And I hope you all have a beautiful rest of the day.